what is the long-term result here? And I'm going to give you three options. There's going to be obviously nuance in each one of these, but RH wins the case completely. No fine paid, no nothing. He wins the case, or maybe it's even dismissed because his lawyers do such a good job to embarrass these claims. And again, the first claim, the unregistered securities, pretty much already been settled before. Second scenario, Richard Hart settles, but is barely affected by it, just a fee to the SEC so they can get their money out of something that they have nothing to do with, all while actually tanking the price of the project and hurting people way more. $100 million of market cap, hurting people infinitely more than Richard Hart has ever done in this ecosystem. The SEC has literally directly hurt, like $100 million has been sucked out of this because of what they've done. And just looking at a similar case, so EOS, you guys have probably heard this by now, but EOS back from the previous couple of cycles raised $4 billion, got sued, and then had to pay basically a 2% fee to the SEC after all of that, just to show
$21 million.
Basically, yeah, just a drop in the bucket. And then the third scenario, the SEC is 100% correct. They win the case. Richard Hart's lawyers fail. He potentially goes to jail. I think that is 100% the least likely not going to happen scenario. So out of the first two, I mean, what do you think is more likely? We both think he's going to fight it. I don't think there's any way it's just like, oh, you really got me up against a wall here. Like, can I just give you the 12 million? He's not going to do that. He's going to fight it. That doesn't necessarily mean after, he shows his hand, they show their hand, and everybody does a dance back and forth a whole bunch, that he doesn't just say, you know what, shut the hell up and take this money and get the hell out of my way and just move on, and really does win in the long, the grand scheme of things.
I think he wants a judgment. Personally,
I think so too.
Yeah. I would want a judgment after all of the shit and the people yelling scam. I really think that he would want a judgment. I think he would want an answer flat out saying, you did no wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's no victims. We can't find anything to charge you. Now, will there still be a fine? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I mean, if they would just dismiss everything with no fines, that would be the ultimate goal, obviously. However, I think there will still be some sort of something that he has to pay. They're going to find something to make stick. They really rarely lose on all avenues of whatever they're bringing up. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there'll probably be some sort of fine. But again, there's no worry that it can't be paid. I mean, I would love to see it. I would love to see the judgment handed down and, just flat out say, these guys have done nothing wrong. But, that would be the best scenario, obviously.
And going back to, the judgment thing and Ryan asking about the jury trial earlier there, I mean, like Richard's lawyers could always say like exactly what Ryan just pointed out that Martin Shkreli said in that room the other day. Richard's lawyers could just be like, look, involving 12 other people in a decision like this, it's already over the plaintiff's head. They don't even know what they're filing anything about. And then you're going to bring 12 randos in here to make a decision on this. That have no, this isn't like, if the glove fits, you must acquit, and like some, highly publicized murder case. This is like nobody even understands any of this shit. Again,
DeFi,
including
especially DeFi.
Right. Yeah. So I'm thinking they could, again, if there's a reasonable judge, which if you're a judge, you should pretty much be reasonable on most counts, then I think they could argue against that. So
good point.
Yeah. What do you think about, I don't know how much I really care about this. I think this was, again, I think that this suit was coming for quite a while here, and they were lined up like, these guys are always going to have something in their back pocket because they're going to fail and fail and fail and have to move on to something else. So they fail with Ripple. They got this going on 3 weeks later. But what do you think about this lining up with the premiere of the movie, literally not tomorrow, but the next day, 2 days from now? I mean, I don't know about any plan or anything like that. I'm not necessarily saying that, but this dynamic, I mean, it's just crazy how much is going on simultaneously.
Yeah, I couldn't have been, the stars just kind of aligned for this. It couldn't have been planned any better. You know, you have a national movie premiere, what, literally 4 or 5 days before or after this announcement. We couldn't have paid for this type of advertisement to get Richard's name out there. You know, I saw it on CNBC. I saw it on a lot of the bigger pieces, or the bigger, you know, news stations, you know, online anyway. I haven't seen it on TV. Like, I haven't seen any of that yet, or heard his name. But you know, it's pretty good advertising, and I think, you know, because the documentary is not a puff piece about Richard, it kind of, everybody that has said that that has seen it, they said, you know, it leaves you to decide what you think. It gives you all sides, and leaves the viewer to make the decision on what they think. So yeah, it couldn't have been any better timing. And you know, left and right, they're selling out now, nationwide, hopefully adding more dates. And on top of that, how does Netflix not pick this up now? You know, with the notoriety, or whatever you want to call it, of now an SEC lawsuit. What better story? And I know these guys are probably still filming. They're I don't think they're done. I don't think this is kind of leads to a sequel, maybe, or a short series anyway. So I think it's all playing out the best we could have expected.
People have been speculating on the sequel thing and everything. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on the Netflix thing. In the past, I used to think, just because, you know, crypto is our little sector of the earth and of, you know, the internet and everything right now. And sometimes I think, like, yeah, but are the general public going to give a shit about a documentary like this? And then it hits me that, like, in March of 2020, a strange, effeminate man who owns a tiger ranch would be like the rage in this country, and everybody would be obsessed with the Tiger King. So, yeah. I mean, you know, that's not a niche of life I'm currently involved in, and I found it wildly entertaining. And Joe Exotic 2024 is all I have to say.
Well, I think the pandemic, definitely, people were locked in their houses with nothing better to do, had a little bit to do with it too. So
that probably helped too. Hey, maybe we need another lockdown for this documentary to really but
release the virus.
Yeah, again.